And welcome back to We Go FD Podcast. We are here at Jones and White with the lovely Tanya. Tanya, how are we doing?
Hi both, I'm good, thanks. How are you both?
I'm excellent. This place is amazing, brothers. We do other places and they are good ways. Listen, I would never ever go and slaughter them, but it feels like you really treat us much better, lady.
Oh good, did you get a coffee this morning?
No, we didn't actually get us a coffee today, which is poor. So a few people will get sacked after this. So what is it you do, Tanya, here?
Okay, so I'm part of the personal injury team and our aim is essentially just to recover compensation on behalf of a person who's been injured as a result of someone else's fault. We deal with a variety of different types of cases, including just your typical road traffic accidents happen while you're pedestrian, cycling injuries. We also deal with workplace accidents and accidents just that happen when you're simply out and about in public spaces. And we do all this on a no-win, no-fee basis.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So I had a wee incident with my hip, where I got a wee tear in it, and I paid that through my own pocket.
Okay.
And it set me right back for years, and still affects me to this day thinking about it. And eats away at me. Now, if you were there in my life at that time, would that have been...
Yeah, of course, that's absolutely right. That's where we come into play.
Right, amazing.
So a personal injury claim is, as you said, a lot more than just compensation. We understand it's also not an easy process to deal with, so we want to make it as stress-free as possible for every client. And we can assist with arranging private physiotherapy, psychological treatment, or even private scans, like you've mentioned there, just to see what kind of recovery that you need.
Brilliant.
Okay.
So even if your workplace don't pay out for you to, like the likes of Paul there saying that he get injured while playing for a club and they never paid for anything, would...
So it really does depend on how the injury happened, obviously.
Right.
Was there something that your employer could have done to prevent the accident, and are they at fault? So we need to figure that first out. But we will carry out the investigations. We'll make sure that if you need private physiotherapy or any kind of treatment, that we can provide that for you. We also deal with things like loss of earnings claims. We can assist with vehicle repairs, bike repairs, and we can also do this without having the need to pay for an insurance excess if it is, for instance, a road traffic accident. And we can even arrange a replacement vehicle. All in all, if it's something that's affected you, we want to make sure that we make it right for you.
If anybody does get an injury in the workplace or whatever it may be, how do they contact you?
Okay, so if you have been injured or you're just looking for some further advice, please head over to our joneswhite.co.uk website or use the link below in the description box. And our expert can provide you with advice and discuss the next steps. And even if you have been injured and turned away by another personal injury firm, please still do get in touch. We regularly take on cases that other firms may have turned down.
Tanya, absolutely brilliant, superb. Right, we made the double substitution. TAM, WARE and Michael Tidser. Boys, how we doing, alright?
Good, mate. Good to be on.
How's the season going at Kelty this year? It's not been as good as it's been previously, has it, mate?
Nah, it's been tough, mate. Obviously we're sitting 8th, kind of probably in that zone where you're trying to catch a playoffs, maybe not going to get relegated, but it's been a kind of a tough season. But kind of if you look at it for a whole coming up last year, you know, you'd have probably took that. So all in all, it's been good.
And how was your game at the weekend? We've had, how many games have we been missed now? The last few weeks?
It's getting beyond a joke.
It's been about a month since we last played. I think they've just banned us to play now. Don't want us to play anymore.
Why?
I don't know what's the deal with it. No, I don't know if there's fixture rearrangements where Arthur needs to play. I really couldn't tell you, but and then what will happen now is they'll give us about 4 games in a week. Do you know what I mean? But how did you get on in...
2-1 against Edinburgh. I'll take the blame for the first one.
2-1.
Damn it, a shocker first goal.
Shocker.
Brutal, mate. Try and show you after it as well. Yeah, honestly, it's happened. No man's land.
So coming up then, I thought you would have done maybe a wee bit better than what you have.
We should have done better. I think last year, if we'd have signed another 2 or 3 players, the squad's quite thin. So I think anybody watching for the side goes, they've came up, staying safe, objective, but I think in-house we're a wee bit disappointed with how we've done. It's a tough league, brothers, I mean.
I know, I get that.
There's good teams that have been there for years.
Just he's well back, didn't I thought he would have kicked on again.
No. Listen, as I say, it's been a kind of probably a learning curve in terms of how the seasons went, and I'm sure come the summer they'll go again and, you know, we'll try and strive to get up there. And
does it seem a big difference for the league below?
There's definitely a difference. Like, we kind of have the greatest respect to our teams. We cruised that last year. I think we went like 17-18 unbeaten at the start. Kind of got a good foothold in the league, and then we didn't really look back. We only lost a couple of games that season. So again, that's probably why people are looking for outside saying they'll maybe go again. But you know, as I say, we didn't get after a good start, mate. I think that kind of set us back. But we started to build momentum again, and we're just no quite there. Do you know what I mean?
No, to be fair, what Kelty's done in the last few years has been brilliant. But there's news actually that has affected me.
Go on.
I started my coaching school a couple of years ago, and I don't like to see anybody try to do it. Boys, and used to have set John Jones said used to have set up now you 2 years I didn't get a coaching school. What's the name of it, and how's it all? How do you get in touch?
T2 Academy, so we just kind of Nice, mate.
We got talking and we thought, what could we do with our lives? Obviously, we're working away for part-time football, so we thought we may as well give something back that the upbringing we had. Started an academy, T2, on all the social medias.
A lot of people sharing that, aren't they?
Well, that's it, mate.
That's kind of what you need. Social media is a
Just
big
to
one.
get it
Innit?
started,
It
innit?
helps that you know a lot of people within football.
Cutting
and
your
that's what-
grass.
I'm gutted every time I see it.
The thing is, mate, so it's up at Newton Farm.
Did you share it?
Campus line.
No, I've not shared it. I didn't see it.
And the thing is, mate, so my wee boys go to the school there, and there's a great picture, and they do use it, Slaney, do you know what I mean? It lies empty. No empty, it
So
gets
you
used.
see that, kills you, that
Aye,
didn't
it gets used. So we got a wee bit of luck. We met the guy who kind of runs all the leases in South Lancashire, spoke to him face to face, and he says, look, I think it's a good idea. We kind of just started building momentum for there, sharing that, and now we've got 17 kids booked in next week.
So what are you looking to sort of, is it one-to-one or is it groups or is it team? Are you looking to do teams or?
Starting with a bit of everything now. We don't want to knock anybody back, so we're starting with one-to-ones, we'll walk around people. There's wee group sessions on a Monday, 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds in between that age bracket. And then just whatever MD needs, we want to provide a service at the kind of public demand. So
I think honestly, boys, if I had kids or anybody, I'd recommend them to you.
It's
I
all
know you
different
two
now,
as
mate.
guys and coaches,
So
you'd
it's
be absolutely
different.
brilliant.
You know yourself, brothers. When you're a young boy, mate, you're out playing all day, aren't you? You're playing with
Aye.
your pals. It's not like you anymore because society's changed. You know what I mean, so nowadays it's all into kind of a like one-to-ones and stuff like groups and boys clubs, and so we just want to try and, as I say, give something back, but also help the local community. Do you know what I mean? Because as I say, there's nobody that does it. I like to think between the two of us, he's been coaching God for years now. I love coaching, I love football, so why not get a bash and just try and
walked in the
help
other day and there was 15, 16 kids just playing, kicking a ball, so if we can go and maybe add a wee bit of structure to it and stuff that they can improve on.
But you're right, because nowadays it's people just say, kids nowadays, they don't want to play football, but it has changed with computers and all that. So
There's nobody to play, but how many times you see boys
like
like cage?
the cost of pitches is
Padlocks are on them, they
Makes me
need to
ill.
climb a 30-foot fence to get
And
in.
then you wonder why the next generation of football players aren't coming through, do you know what I mean?
And then there's a spare bit of grass with a sign saying no ball
know.
games.
No ball games.
With Doug shouting that on.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So,
It's brilliant. But that's what I love, and I think more people like yourselves have to go out and do that. Brothers, is that something you would eventually, when you stop playing, look into?
Aye. Well, I would like to take it for the fitness side, like
Aye.
a one-to-one fitness with football related stuff. Actually looking into doing a PT course, now. Not so much like all coaching, but the other side, because the game's turn, you've got to be an athlete first now.
100%.
So
Yeah.
just even helping younger ones, like do these wee things that will help you as an athlete to help your footballing career. So I've looked into
100%.
that, but I think there's a big market out there for it. I think these will be good and
look forward to it.
What would you say though, right? Because I've had this at Boca. We don't play like matches. We don't have teams, so we'll do training. And so anybody with any team can come along to us, and we're there. It's an extra football session. We'll make them better. So what would you say if a coach went like that to use for another team? Paul, what are you doing to take my player?
It's not taking players, is it? It's just helping them
It's helping
along.
them, innit? It's developing them and trying to make them better. No, I'm not saying that this guy who's coaching them isn't a good coach, and because we've played football, we know everything.
You're
Of
going to
course.
get better.
I like to think the knowledge that we've picked up through the academy, I obviously grown up at Celtic for 10 years, I learned so much, you know what I mean? And I still, like things that I got taught at 12, 13, I still try and do that now at 33, do you know what I mean? Like how to receive the ball and how to go on a half turn and just wee daft things that maybe it doesn't seem important, but it's massive.
And life things as well, isn't it?
Of course,
Like
mate.
you mean,
Like,
Billy
everything.
Burns, I imagine he would have.
Everything, mate. Everything, and that's another thing. Like even just helping the kids, because kids can be socially awkward, or they might be a bit shy, a wee bit nervous, and I want to be the person that can maybe help them, bring them out, encourage them, and just in all different aspects of life, not just football, but in terms of how they live their life and how they're as people and building friendships and stuff like that. So it's a whole host of things that
Brilliant.
we're trying to get on board.
That's been
And
said in a few messages about, listen, we don't want to put him in a group environment. He's not been in that sort of thing. So perfect, like the one-to-one situation, bring him along. It'll be us and the coaches for a couple of weeks, and then do you know what, bed him into a group situation. That way, he's becoming.
there you go, growing
socially
friendships, and as I say, socially better, and hopefully becoming better people.
Let's make sure you get a like contact you, because it will be absolutely brilliant. If the two of yous, if you hear beep beep beep, beep, electric chair comes in, what's your last meal of your choice ever?
Oh, we went early.
Just very quick. I'm just going to do it really quick before we go into your
Stars,
careers.
definitely some sort of prawns.
Oh, I like
maybe
that.
King prawns, big ones.
Where are you going for Dennis?
Duke's Street, aye.
Can't have prawns today.
I've changed, mate. I've changed when I went to
That's
Brothers.
just a
When I went to
conversation
Brothers, my brothers, I just made prawns.
Prawn starter, what's your main?
Steak, tomahawk,
Oh,
T-bone, something like that.
Oh, I like that. Exactly.
Loads of wee sides, mate. Just a wee
Good.
nibble. Dessert. Mate, I'm not big on dessert, What? Say that again?
Sam, what are you, my friend?
Probably prawns to
Prawns
start,
together,
but
aye.
I'm a fillet for main course.
Aye, same.
Prefer a fillet, no
Oh, you
fat
mean,
and
aye.
that on it, aye. Just, I don't like the fats and that in the
I don't know
tomahawk
the
steak.
difference between them, but
Nice.
And then dessert to you, I've not asked you.
Wee cheesecake.
Cheesecake,
And then
cheese
Tidser's
board for me, mate.
cheese ball, you and Si honestly disgust me at times. You can't beat cheese, mate, like that. Now, we've not had a game in ages. Trinent, Saturday's going to be a brilliant game, brothers, isn't it?
Hopefully, aye. A wee bit gutted it's no Friday night, to be honest.
I know.
Would they get maybe a bigger crowd, get the fans out there, not going to the local teams. But no, this will be a difficult game. They're up the top of the league for a reason. They'll be looking to go and win the league this year.
Aye, they're pushing for that, aren't they?
So, and they gave us a good scene to up there.
Aye, it was a tough night, wasn't it?
So hopefully we can get one back in them.
And again, for people going online, the entertainment, you can't get any better. You know, okay, hospitality, we hear this. Kevin Kelty at half time, would you be buying into that? Would you? 100%. Buck Spa, the food's all there as well. And then after that, you're going to have me and Si post-match. That's right, innit? Post-match. Answer your questions now. People say managers maybe shouldn't get interviewed after the game because it's dangerous, but that's what people want to hear.
Of course.
So that's what me and Si's got to say. I'll be doing all the talking, of course. Now the tickets, there's just a few tickets left because people are going to have the scale to get these tickets. Not there. So everybody's gone mental to get them. But click the link in the description below to buy yours right now. Alright, get yourself there. Brothers, I wanted to ask you, mate, right? This is important to me. You said a comment a few weeks ago when you haven't been playing or training that you don't feel the same. Mentally, sometimes it's like you need to be training or playing. Do you worry when your career comes to an end that you can't replace that feeling?
Aye, 100%.
So many players must feel like that, though, eh?
Getting a wee bit of now, actually, to be honest.
When there's no games or that?
No game, like the last couple of weeks we've had no game, it's like your build up to your week, you're a bit like, I've nothing to build up to here, but that bit of competitive in you just want to go again. And even like we're going from full time to part time, you're not at it every day. Aye, you can train yourself, but it's not the same. You know what it's like. You like to go in there and you even playing A5s, you want to win. Just getting the extra days in. So yeah, I can see why a lot of players go off the rails.
I sorry to interrupt. Sorry, I struggled. See when I went to Kelty part time. See for the first 3-4 months, mate, struggled big time. Just with the I was ready
to
for
train at night.
I was ready for see because as you say, see because you're in every day, you're with the boys, you're training the high intensity. See then go on Tuesday night, Thursday night, boys are working all day. So I probably was a wee bit naive to it. Do you know what I mean? These boys are out working, grafting away, and I've been used to being full time kind of since I was 16. So then to try to adapt to that was difficult, and it took me 3-4 months. And I spoke to obviously under Fergie at the time. And I spoke to him a couple of times. I was like, I'm struggling here. It was getting me through, but and then slowly I just started to adapt. And then when he first came part time, I says, "Look, you'll get there. It's hard." Do you know what I mean? And now I don't even know if, like, obviously 33 now, but see if a full time club came in, I don't know if I'd go back now.
A lot of people say it because financially as well. They say it can be better. Tam, did you used to?
I couldn't get used to the training, mate. It was just like I would go to full time training. I wouldn't have my breakfast, but that was just my routine. I would train on an empty stomach and then I'd have my lunch after it. So when I went part time, I didn't know when to eat. Like stupid as that. I have my breakfast, I have lunch. I feel empty when I'm training. I feel too heavy because I've eaten just before. I just couldn't get used to it. In fact, it was night time. It was just
time you get at 11 o'clock at night. You don't know if you're hungry. You don't know if you're tired.
You're in eating at 11 o'clock and that. So
it's your life turned upside down. But listen, it's absolutely fine.
I think it works if you've got like maybe a good steady job. Then financially you're well on it.
Maybe that's where, so you see a lot of good players in the lower leagues who have maybe came from a Celtic or a Rangers youth, or even like, through the leagues, you see that. Do you think that's maybe where since I've been a kid, they've came through full time, and then when it comes to, they sort of get let go with the clubs and they go part time, it's a wee bit like, what do I do now? Do you think that's where they struggle to get back? Because I actually said this to your boys and I mumbled my words, I wasn't clear what I was trying to say. I try to say, don't be comfortable when you come part-time, because I did see when I'd obviously been full-time and I came here. It's still in your head, you're like, I'm one of the better players, I'll get back to the right, and it's still in your head, you believe that, but you're not doing the same. So you're part-time and only training now twice a week. And you start being comfortable, you start feeling relaxed with that, and that's the big, I feel that, I would say this to any younger player when you come out of a full-time environment, that's the biggest danger, that when you become comfortable and you're thinking, right, I've got my 2 sessions a week, I'll be fine, I'll get through that. But at the same time, you're doing that. Boys that are full-time are training 4 days a week, 4 days a week, playing the game, and that, to try to get back to that level is almost impossible, no matter how good you are. I would say I also became relaxed as well because it's Celtic and like Motherwell and stuff. There was a pressure there every day. You're training, you need to be in fit. So when you go to a part-time team, it's still that pressure, but it's more relaxed in it. And I found myself much more relaxed, sort of eating more what I wanted, and that to me that's the biggest danger of how boys will struggle then, no matter how good you're back there. I don't know if you agree with that or that's
No,
not a shit.
I agree. Listen, no, I agree with you. What I will say about myself is when I did go part-time though, I still try to live like a full-time player, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I wasn't working, so like my sole income was my football at Kelty, and I thought, right, what am I going to do on a Monday, what am I going to do even a Tuesday before training? I'm still in the gym, I was still doing my runs, my recovery, and it's even Tuesday, Thursdays, I still trained like it was my fucking last ever training session, do you know what I mean? Even though I was getting a wee bit older, I thought, do you know what, I'm not going to let this go, I'm just going to, the way I brought up, do you know what I mean? It's all new, so I just kind of try to keep that going. More so the last maybe year and a bit, I've maybe tailed off a wee bit, in terms of, I still look after myself obviously, but in terms of doing this, the new, see like this academy and stuff like that, my mind's starting to change a wee bit, so it's no football, do you know what I mean?
See at part-time level, do you think you can say to boys, listen, you need to be training 4 days a week?
Aye. You can, but
I think it depends what age you're, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say a 33-year-old that go
No,
train
of
4 or
course.
5 days
Just
a week.
depends on
If somebody has aspirations, they're going,
yeah.
everybody's route is different. So somebody might come for pro youth, somebody might come for junior into a Kelty and then go. So if you want to go and be at a Thistle or a Falkirk, then you need to be training, because remember, they boys there are training 4 or 5
We're a
days
young team though, so we're on at the boys.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just train twice a week if you want to become a full-time player.
it comes through thin, no brothers as well, do you know what I mean?
Aye, if
That's
you
what I'm
want
saying
it,
about
aye.
folk getting comfortable.
Always,
Do you know what I
see if
mean?
you really want to, there's no excuses, mate. There's no, you know, to get to the next level, you need to work extremely hard, do you know what I mean? Because if you don't, the guy next to you is.
Right.
And people, as you said, what did we speak about earlier on off camera, like, you need to be athletes, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you need to be constantly trying to, I was mad for it, like, in terms of how can I get better, how can I look after myself, how can I sleep better, how can I, everything, mate, almost to the point where it started to affect my mind was gone, do you know what I mean? Because I cared that much, and I ended up, that's when I took a wee step back and I thought, do you know what, I wasn't enjoying my life because I was that focused on trying to get the best out of myself, and I ended up affecting my football because it was too much during the week, do you know what I mean? So I think there's just trying to find that happy medium where you can.
Have you found a difference for when you were coming through to sort of the younger players the way they are now?
100%.
Have you?
Completely different.
Aye.
In all different ways, like.
Do you think that's just society though? Do you think?
I think that plays a massive part.
Aye.
Maybe upbringing,
Like
how you see
the stuff that
football.
went on in changing rooms back then, like even that stuff doesn't happen now.
No.
You couldn't get away with it.
No, you
Can't
So
shout at a young
the
boy.
changing room argument at Morton, no, you can't say they'll answer back to you. Which is the bit that I always thought, if I answered like Martin Hardy or something back, mate, I'd be pinned
Aye,
up against the
you're
wall
done,
inside.
Like for ours.
Even they don't have jobs, which was a good upbringing.
Aye.
I thought that was a basic that
Aye.
just should, like a fundamental that just stays. Like,
Is that all gone now?
You're not allowed to do
Like,
nothing.
Do nothing. I'll tell you a quick one. The gaffer at Kelty, John Potter, he told one of the young boys last week, he came into, like, he was getting into the squad to play, who were we playing last week? Peter Reid away. He's only 18, I'll not mention his name. And she was saying about him being different, so he texted, he'd got one for his manager that he was playing, he texted the gaffer, he wrote, Potter, what time have I to get on the bus tomorrow? Call him Potter.
alright, Potter.
Alright, Potter, what time's the bus tomorrow? The gaffer. I was like,
mad,
then he came on the bus,
It wouldn't come out your mouth,
got
when you were
flip-flops
younger.
on, walking on a bus.
Oh, no.
And then when we're there, they're upstairs having food. Well,
Peter, he'd put on good
the
scrum
kit
for
man's
the
staying in
game.
the changing room and
We
that.
fucking ran about, fucking threw one each, disappointed result. We got up, me man's like, tucking at the chicken roast totties now. I was like, he's fucking, he's now kicked them up. Do you know what I mean? So it's all,
You're actually scared
maybe-
back in the day-to-day, innit?
Aye,
it's
you would-
when he
you'd
maybe
be
just doesn't
terrified.
know, do you know
Aye,
what I
probably
mean?
doesn't
Because it's
know,
all
aye.
changed. So you're harshing them, but they're good boys. It's just different. They don't know what it used to be like back fucking 10, 15 years ago.
I remember at Motherwell with Chris McCarthy, you weren't allowed to. I mean, I think you had your lunch about fucking 5 o'clock. You had to
Man,
let
Clark at
everybody eat
Celtic,
it first.
big man, go and have your lunch. Yeah, as you say, it's like fucking dinner time, Clark.
So what's I?
You'd be just starving, mate.
But I mean, as you said, because the young boys at your 20s are great boys, and even the younger ones in the first team are great boys as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is great, but maybe it's just that society that has changed.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm just going to go into it. You started at Celtic, mate.
Yeah.
How did they sign you, Celtic? How did that come about?
We talked about earlier about playing the street. So I played with my brothers and my pals, kind of growing up, and then I went boys club up Easterhouse, a team called Bosco. So I think I was 9, and I'd never played boys club, so when kind of I'd done really well, and I was in it like 4 or 5 different pro youth, and then Celtic came in right at the very last kind of a week of the season. Obviously, growing up a big Celtic fan,
Who contacted you for Celtic?
It was a scout, Eddie McCulloch. I don't know if you remember old Eddie. Good guy to be fair. Really good for me, helped me out and kind of take me to training and stuff like that. But So as I say, I was only a year at Boys Club and then they came in and then that was it for 10. I kind of signed and kind of built my way up right through.
And who ran it? Was that Tommy Burns that ran it?
Tommy he was the top man, again, he was brilliant as well, mate. Like I know Si speaks very highly of him. I couldn't speak any highly of him enough because he was great for me. Even just wee things like, obviously, I couldn't really get down to... I was only at Duke Street and we trained at Barrowfield before lunchtime was open, but he would pick me up, he would drop me off, he would help me, but you didn't cross him, mate. That's the one thing for all. He was brilliant. He did not... I remember one day there was, the Well Park Brewery, the big walk runs right along. Obviously I was only 12 or something, kicking about the streets, spray paint, done a big massive fucking Tidser, I'm talking about, mate, massive size of that, right? And I went into spray paint on my fingers and that, went into training. Tommy's like, office, I went in, I was only a wee boy, I was only 13. He went, see if I drive along Duke Street and see another Tidser on a wall, you'll be released for this club. I was like that, straight away, sharp as fuck. I went, Tommy, that must be one of my brothers. He went, don't give your pish. He says, I'm telling you right now, you'll be out here quicker than you came in. Mate, just wee things like that. I thought, oh, yeah, fucker.
But I always did say that away from football, he cared about you as a person.
Oh, I did, I. Like, everything, like, even how you getting on, how's your family, how's school, how's this. If you need anything, just come, I'll help you, do you know what I mean? He was just a good, and then training as well, he was brilliant, mate. Like, see, different class, mate. He'd join in and stuff like that, and Megan, you didn't realise, but he was for everybody. He just wanted to push the boys on.
Who was that? Who was that sort of team Tidser you came through with? What players were you?
Well, I'm trying to think. So, when I got to youth level, I was kind of pushed up with like Si and that. I was always up with Si and Gowser and McGlinchey and Conroy and all they boys. But then a year below me was a good team. Jamesy, obviously, your mate Jamesy. We Greg Wild and that were in it. O'Halloran. That was maybe a bit before you came in. My age group, we all got released at the same time. I think there was like 15 years.
I mean, that was a shock.
I know, I think we were a fucking worst youth team in Celtic's history, mate, to be honest with you. We all got fucking...
What was Si? Can you remember much of Si when he was at the base?
So I first met Si when I was... Just when I'd signed, remember I said when I signed at 10, we went down to Largs. It was like go down for a couple of days training, but they were the under 12s at the time, I was only 10. And I ended up... It was... I don't know if it was Tommy, but somebody says, look, you're going to a room with... There's a boys called Luke FD, and it was me and Si in a room. I think it was bunk beds.
Bad room, man.
Nah, to be fair, mate, he was... For that day, he was brilliant with me.
Was he?
He's brilliant, mate. Really good. They were all fucking...
They're getting teabagged while you're sleeping, you don't remember.
Nah, bear in mind, we're only kids, you know what I mean? I was nervous as fuck, mate, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
They're all older boys and he was really good. And all of them were like Caddis, Mark Muller and that. They were all good boys.
You any stories about back in the change room? Because Si's always talked about the one where... What was the one with some Midge? Just having Tony Punch came in his arse or was with it or something.
Midge used to shout in penalty spots, that remember? They were, I loved it. So see, getting in with all them, mate, I could sit with him for fucking 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, just listening to stories, and I just loved we used to all go out for lunch and do things together, do you know what I mean? Again, I think that's all kind of a change.
Did you ever have any experience with the first team, Ted?
I have trained with the first team.
Who was that, Stratton?
Stratton, a few times. Mate, it was top quality, that level, do you know what I mean?
Was that a bit of a shock, mate, when you, sorry if you keep joking, when you did get told you were let it go?
It was my life, mate, so it was, I grew up a Celtic fan, my full family a Celtic fan, so then to be there for 10 years, and then one day just get told, listen, that's you, we've all been released at clubs, you know what I mean? But because you give so much to it, now I'm not saying I was ever going to go and play for Celtic, but I didn't know anything else, do you know what I mean? I didn't know what it was like away. And every day I dedicated to try and be a Celtic player. I remember leaving Lennoxtown, mate, and the tears were fucking rolling down my face. 20 years of age, I'm thinking,
Did
you go on loan while you were at
Nah, mate, I didn't know. So all the boys, kind of your Conroys and that, they were all Charlie, they were out on loan. And then I was, because, do you know the thing is, bro, see, because I wasn't away my youth team, they all still trained at Barrowfield, I was always up with the reserves, kind of no first team, but that environment. So I thought, I'll get a deal, do you know what I mean? I hope, but I don't mean I should get a deal, but you're hoping to then fucking... I remember Si being there and I was like, he's like, you need to go find out what's happening. Went and spoke to him, McCart, McStay, and can't remember who else was in the office. Because Tommy just died in the May, and I think this was like the next month maybe.
Right.
McCart just came in, and he says, look, your time's up, sort of thing. See you later, pack your bags.
I think the boys at Celtic and Rangers should go out on loan, because then everyone at Celtic and Rangers is the best. So to go out on loan, you get a culture shock to see, whoa, the other teams are not like this.
Yeah.
So either that'll give you that drive to say, I want to stay here, or I'm going to need to roll the sleeves up when I do go.
Rod, you're spot on, because see then a year later down the line when I end up signing with Martin, see I couldn't get to grips with championship football.
Yeah.
Mate, boys are running after me, just getting smashed proper, like men's football, real football. Like we know.
Doesn't happen.
Whereas at Celtic, you're just keeping the ball and you're 1-2, 3-0 and you'll maybe get a wee test here and there, do you know what I mean? So actually, for all I left with tears rolling down my eyes, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it gave me that drive. And I see, when I left there, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to make it. Not make it, but I'm going to make sure I get my fucking all to have a career in the game. And see, to be honest, always got released. I think I'm probably the only one that
went and done as a career almost.
Aye.
The culture bit's the big one.
Aye.
Like, they get everything.
Well,
he's in at Rangers. He coaches at Rangers.
Yep. You coached did you come through at Rangers? Is that?
I was at Rangers 9 to 15, 16, and then went to Kilmarnock, but then I chucked it for a year. My head went just kind of what he's saying there. Like, I went to a meeting at Kilmarnock, kind of my mum, my biggest critic, had champagne that in the motor, ready to get a deal. Was the best player on the team, and then walked into the meeting. Guy in the meeting released. I was sitting in the boot, mate. Walked into the meeting, my coach went like, I'm taking none to Davis. And I went, what? Walked in, the head of youth was like, nah, no sign you. So,
but it makes a break, you know that.
So my head kind of went, I stopped enjoying football, chucked it for a year, went and played boys club, and then came back, went to Morton, just kind of, and that's where it came through for me. So my pathway was completely different.
So see just back at Rangers, who was, so like the Tommy Burns, who was the guy there at Rangers? I'd done all that.
It was all different back then. So they had Tommy Olsen, Jimmy Sinclair, they came in as the head of academy, but so I don't think there's many figures like Tommy Burns, you know what I mean? So would that have been like Flecky or that at that time? Or they were older. Flecky was a couple of years older. Kenny McLean was a year above me, I think. Aye, so there's a few names that stuff.
And then used to meet at Morton, is that?
Aye.
Right?
Used to be my bit boy, aye.
My mate, that's what I'm saying, like when you talk about like the culture at the game, I came into that Morton team, he was in Nick's youngest.
I was still young.
He was 23, I was 8.
I was younger, I was
22, 21.
20 when I signed with Martin, aye.
But when
started in Sweden
22 when I was there.
When you first
I was 18, I was like everybody's bitch. I was everybody's bitch.
Did he ever give you money for cleaning the boots?
Oh no, I was just get it done off.
As a shambles.
Nah.
So you had, but then remember, you had Hardy, Mark McLaughlin, Kevin Rukovic, Pizzo, like every day, like I had names in the game. So
like Peter Wellerson, man, Big Spinsy, no?
They gave me that upbringing of like proper.
Ryan Hardy?
This is
Martin Hardy.
This is like what it is to be a footballer now. So that's the kind of bit that I'm kind of blessed with, that I got off them. It was hard, like old school.
Was Del Lyle there?
I played with Del.
He wasn't there when I was.
Del stories in Del.
Del's a madman, isn't he? But he's good, isn't he?
Good madman.
He's good. Again, I could sit and talk about football, and you learn from these older pros, you know what I mean? But remember a couple of times on the part of that, I can't remember the boy's name, is it Graham Gartland? One time we played, who was there? He was at somebody, and him and Del were at it, mate. And then Del fucking had him with the throat, and he was going to kill him, I could see the devil in his eyes, mate.
Big Jim are going to go eventually.
The devil in his eyes, and I thought, oh, he's gone here. And he's like, I'll fucking get you after the game, you get you out there and that. It's like, Del can't do that.
That's what you say, like you would never answer the boys back.
No, never.
Even if like Hardy's rang and I'm right, 100%. I would never say a word to him. I answered them back once in a joke in the group chat before we went to Ibiza. So if he was going, listen, whatever I say in Ibiza, you'll do it, right? And I was like, of course, Martin, anything you say, right? So if I tell you got to run and get the speaker, you'll do it, right? So I was like, I'm not going to answer you back, right? I said, just look after him, I'm not going to answer you back. So we went a night out to Cushion, and him, Willie Dyer, and I can't remember who else were in the back of the motor, and we're going, Tam, Hardy can't speak to you like that, right? So I've had a few vodkas, right? So I've texted him saying, a video, Hardy, if you want something, you'll date yourself, right? So I sent him a video, came into training in the morning. Where is he? That's all I've heard, because you could hear through the physio room. So he's opened the door, mate. I've got 7 acupuncture needles in my legs, shite myself. And he walked in, he went, anything to say to my face? I was like, no, Martin, sorry. Right, so he walks through, and I've got lousy, mate. I've just thought, shite back, right? Undone my voice, mate. Mate, he's picked me up, put me to sleep. With needles in my leg. In fact, brought me into the living room, mate, choked me out, laid me in the flare.
Needles are sitting in his leg. So just good upbringing, good.
So imagine that happening now, mate. Wouldn't get away
chance, aye. Who was the other character? So who was the other characters in that Morton team? Any stories? You remember any stories that kick you about, or anybody?
Some I couldn't say, mate, honestly.
Couldn't you? You'd have been writing about it, wouldn't you? You were always the one in the direction. It was the not the loudmouth, but in a good way.
I love getting involved, but I was always knew when enough was enough. Do you know what I mean? Because these boys were disgusting, mate. Some of the stuff that was getting thrown about that change room, wasn't it, like, mate?
See, Johnny, to go back. Did you go to Sweden before that first Morton trip? How did that come about?
Good question. So.
Thanks, mate.
Very good question. You're doing well, Snee. So I ended up when I got released for Celtic, I ended up going I think it was a 2-week bender on holiday with my pals, and I mean pissed for the first month I got out of the last, mate, because I was gone, my head was gone. Ended up coming back, and Hamilton tried to sign me before I went full time with Celtic, and wee Billy Reid was still the manager, and he said to us, look, come in here, get a bit of training. And I ended up going in, and he had a connection out in Sweden, the Östersunds they were called. So I'd went in for a couple of weeks. He went, listen, I don't know if he was going to offer me something, but he's like, do you fancy going trying Sweden? I was like, yes, please. For different reasons. And so I ended up going out. Me and my agent went out. Brilliant, mate. Just looked at the place. I thought, you know what, a wee change. You know what I mean? As I say, all I'm known as Glasgow, and I went out, mate, and it was the best decision I've ever done, because see, just getting out of my comfort zone, getting away from kind of going and living my own. I was only 20, experiencing a new culture. Team were brilliant for me, and then ended up playing Lee Mako. You remember Lee Mako?
Aye.
Mix was he was a gaffer, so he was obviously he was English. Centre mid, he was still a player, kind of a manager, and ended up playing, I don't know, 20 games out there until the season ended, which is they finished in the winter because of the weather and stuff like that. So I ended up coming back, and then obviously signed with Morton in the January. But brilliant, I loved it, mate.
Did you? Is it completely different earlier to the football is here? The lifestyle and that?
The lifestyle was brilliant, mate. I was just, everybody just chilled, coffees.
Did you get a birthday there?
No.
Is it?
Nothing.
Can I say?
None. No.
So see after you come back, you go to Morton. Am I right in saying in my timeline here, what I've worked out and all the stuff I've done, research I've done, Rotherham?
I end up, so came back for Sweden, Morton for 3 years, and then I was doing really well, mate. I had like fucking best season of my life. Like, just everything I hit, mate, were in. Loads of assists, but again, good team, really good team. So we were top of the championship for majority of it. And Thistle ended up kind of a Pitmas. They were challenging us, and we fell away the last 6 or 7 games, but really good season. And then
there was 12 points ahead.
We
were like 10 points ahead.
He fucked up.
I gave the league away.
Thistle away.
Sure to get into details. I'm not
on the who scored it? Craig scored it?
What did you actually? Fuck it.
Major, mate. Done a fitness test on the Thursday, mate. My hammy was hanging off. I was too scared to say I'm injured. I felt like I can't actually play. Hardly just looked at me after it. Nah, but to be fair, we challenged. Fair play to Thistle. Listen, they deserved it. They were a really good team. They kind of stuck together and done well in the SPL. And then that year I ended up, Rotherham came in for, I had a few options, mate, that's the thing. So I'd met Bradford, I spoke to Kilmarnock, and then Steve Evans at Rotherham contacted us. We'll get on to him, mate.
We're going to talk about him in a minute, mate.
We'll get on to him. He's a fucking...
What was he like? We've had some stories on him. Brothers, so were you here at this?
No, he was there before me.
You were there first?
So that was League One.
League One, aye.
League One.
Don't play there, Right, Steve, I need to know about this big guy.
So, first of all, when I went down to meet him, me and my agent, the new, obviously, stadium's nice, and lovely, went into the office and that. He's from Glasgow, isn't he? So, he's from Cambuslang, big Celtic man. I thought, right, okay. I had to pay, I think they paid, I don't know, 150 grand for us. And I was like, right, this looks good opportunity. I'm only 24 at the time. And I thought, right, I'll go down, end up meeting Bradford, spoke to him, spoke to a few others, and I thought Rotherham. I remember walking down, I was with Si, mate. And if Steve Evans phoned me, because I was like, can I just get a couple of days just to decide that? Mate, he phoned me, he's like, if you don't fucking want to come down here, don't you bother on the phone. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What is going on here? I thought, went to like that, brothers?
Mate, it's amazing.
He's ruthless, mate, honestly. I was walking down Sucky Hill Street thinking, what the fuck's going on here, man? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, ended up getting down and signing. First week, mate, no joking. First week, we hadn't touched the ball. It was like runs pre-season. Mate, remember you Windy? He had a wee Windy. It was like a porter cap. Mate, he's banging out. He's like, you in. And mate, he's like, you're not the player I thought you were. First 3 days in, mate, I hadn't even done a shite in the city, mate. I was like, what the fuck's going on here, mate? He's sitting with his Gans Iron Brew, mate, 6-pack of snowballs, mate. He's like, you're not the player. And I'm like, fucking hell. Still staying in the hotel. So anyway, the weeks went on, and then I started to play, and I came in, I done alright. I remember we played Gillingham, we ended up beating them, maybe not 5 or 6-1. And I done really well, mate. And I thought, right, and he came out of the change room. He's like, "Hey, that's the player I want." People have been asking who Michael Tidser is. That's who Michael Tidser is. I'm like, for fuck's sake, right? So, a week later, FA Cup, Rochdale. I go and get sent off, don't I? and he is in my grill, mate. He's there. And remember, he used to sweat was pissing up on me.
Grab the towel off you.
Well, I've got a good one about the towel. I got stitched up about that. I don't even think you were there. You might have been at it. I think you were part of this.
What one was that?
So you used to sweat like fuck, right? And our towels were put out a bit. I was on the bench, and he's coming at half time, and one of the boys like grabbed the towel, mate. He's drying himself down, mate. And I mean sweating, like dry himself down. One of the boys got the towel, folded it back up, sat at my locker. After the game, I'm getting a shower. Dry like that. Boys like that, the gaffer used that half time, mate. I was like, I had to go right back and shower, say, fucking get the devil out of me, mate, honestly.
Was he good?
Was he good?
As a coach or manager or
No, I never coached.
Did you not?
No, he sat in his wee room, chapped the windy.
Mate,
And come out with his trainer, not even tired or anything.
No way.
then I pissed that him, she started beholding I pissed that. Sorry,
Mate,
you
you
would
didn't know
not
the
believe
team?
this, mate.
That's brilliant,
Then
innit?
you didn't know
Nah.
the team. The team was out in Twitter before we knew.
Right. It used
There they
to
go.
Aye, mate, it was like, honestly, it was like,
right,
it was
I'm back
like
with you.
Dave Bassett out of England. Like, there's like a wee bit of paper at 2 o'clock, he was reading that. Wasn't he?
Bad, mate, bad.
Would you ever pull him, brothers? Like, would you ever say
He loved you, to be fair.
Oh,
He did love you. But he did. The boys, he did.
it never really went for me, yeah.
Nah.
But so he had that in the locker to go. He could go for people.
Oh, mate.
Go for people, mate.
That's the game.
Any other one? Any
Mate,
other
we
one you
played,
remember?
were you there when we played Swansea and
Aye.
he was cutting everybody off after a couple of minutes? And big...
Maybe
he
in
was
the Premier this time.
They're in the Prem, mate. Wilfred, Bonnie, Shelby, the full shebang, mate. They went full strength.
We're 2-0 down.
2-0 down. Barry maybe had a wee half chance and he's out, mate. He's got a wee claw and he's screaming, mate. I think it was 6 minutes. He's like, Dave. Screaming. I was like, oh, here we go again, mate. And he's got, you fucking like, we got a half time, mate. I swear, Big Moggs, wasn't he? Big Moggs captain at the time. He's like, fuck you, gaffer. And he's like, Moggs, don't fucking start me. You'll not play for this club again. He went, fine, I'll not play for the club again. He's taking his boots off. He's like, Moggs, no they day. He's like, gaffer, we're playing against a Premier League team. We're trying a fucking hard this, you know what I mean? I say, he's like, you're fucking getting his dogs. Like, I can accept that, manager, but it wasn't even like helping you, mate. It was just shouting, screaming and bawling for 5 yards away. He's putting you off the game, mate. The ball would come to you and he's screaming at you.
You know, his side, it was horrible.
Aye.
Is it
Just like, hi! And you're like, what the fuck's high with my matey? It was high plate inside, his high plate at the channel. It was
And then that think I was 56 minutes, board went up, heads off, and that was my last game, man. That was it. I knew, mate, come back to the bus, spoke to the buses, but I'm done here. That was me. And I could not wait to get out. You know, at that stage, actually, it was mentally draining me. So, Steve Evans, aye.
What do you think of the down south when you went down there? What would you think of the standard compared to Scotland when you went down?
Obviously, when I first went down, it was League One. It's a lot more physical.
Is it?
You agree with that, innit? Physical, there's athletes.
Aye, they're all athletes. Everyone, especially in the Championship.
You'll get
And then into the Premier.
The League One was a battle, but you had maybe 5 or 6 teams that would play, you know what I mean? And to be fair, look, just slaughtered them. But what I will say is, he got the best out of his teams, you know what I mean? He's had promotion after promotion. Don't get me wrong, his budget's always been good.
Aye, he always goes to a big budget.
He's not daft.
And he can play about 60 players a year.
Well, see after that Swansea game? That was on the Tuesday. See, the first day I went in, he signed 3 centre mids. 3 in the one day, by the way.
That's the first season of the Championship, he used 59 players.
59.
No, what the hell, mate? They would just sign until they got a player that would do the job for them.
He would just go.
Outstanding, by the way.
He would just keep. And I went in after he signed the 3. I says, Gaffer, look, I'm not going to play. And he went, how are you not going to play? I went, well, you've got 6 centre mids. I says, you probably get freedom in there. Maybe, do you know what I mean? And he's
No,
like,
and he was always 4-4-2.
aye, 4-4-2. So it was,
Aye,
flat 4-4-2.
Big striker and a small striker.
Revs,
Hit revs, man. That was
hit him and then play off it. And I went in and I says, look, I'm not going to play. And he's like, hey, you're not going anywhere. Get out of my fucking office. I'm like, no bother. See you later. Go to my office. And then 2 days later, one day again, like, and he's like, right, I'll let you go on loan. And then that was kind of the start of going out on loan. I ended up.
Do you think that I always, when I went to MK Dons, I always found the banter in Scottish internationals for England is non-existent.
Pish, mate. Pish. It's
It's
not the
mad
same.
though, mate. I don't
It's
get
not
it.
the same.
You don't get the same
Our
banter,
dressing
do
room
you?
was terrible though, wasn't it?
Nah.
It reminds me, I can't remember.
And we were split in 2 dressing rooms.
What's it?
know.
Aye.
That's because there's that many of these.
Aye.
That's
2 dressing rooms.
Sometimes you would need. Sometimes I wouldn't speak to him for fucking an hour because he'd been out, had his breakfast, or he'd been. No, but like, see in the morning, usually you see boys and you're all sitting about now. Sometimes I wouldn't see him till I walked out the training park, do you know, because he's next door. Usually when you go in, everybody's together, and it wasn't like that at all, mate. And Aye.
Why checking that is okay? I remember at MK Dons. I remember that even like when you went on like Christmas dues and that. See, like the next day.
Didn't I do Christmas dues?
See, like the next day though, Tidser, you'd be drinking like maybe like green tea and that.
Aye.
I'll just keep myself in a mad one at night. Like that's no.
Aye, it's
that's
not
normal.
You're going, if you're going on a bender, mate, you're going on, man, aren't you? You're going on, you're first thing in the morning, you'll get the car up.
Now, bear in mind though, you couldn't go on a bender at Rotherham.
Nah.
Because you'd get a text at 10:30 at night, we're in at 7 in the
know.
morning. The Sunday, no what they lie. Mate, we had been 4-0 for Wolves and the way home and didn't allow the tellies on the bus. No tellies. He's get paid enough. He's get beat 4-0, no tellies.
You know, mate.
And then when they do the drop-offs.
I remember that one. Boys would
Mate,
leave
know
at
what they
motors.
lie.
So it would go right by the
So
service
you've got two
station.
drop-offs all the way down the motorway. Mate, I swear. He's like that. But when they drop off, you get paid enough. All the way
where did
back.
you go? Stadium?
All the way back to the stadium, boys had to
go
get
back.
taxis back to their cars. And we drove by them. They wouldn't drop them off.
Nah, he did not give a fuck. And there was a fear factor when like boys were just didn't want to say like what's going on here, do you know what I mean? Because he would just fuck you off, mate. I remember one day we played, so if you didn't play on the Saturday, you used to go and play the reserves in the Monday. And we ended up playing, I can't remember who the first team we were playing, but we ended up got to play Man U on the Monday, mate. And I at the time, you used to come up the road a lot, didn't you? I didn't come up the road a lot, but we had 2 days off, so I says, right, I'll come up the road. We played Man U, mate, I'm not joking you, at Man U's training ground, and they had loads of first team boys playing. Moyes is there. When Moyes Giggs was there, and maybe, I don't know, Scholes or Butt or something. Evans at the side, mate. I'm talking about, that's a Resi game, mate, in the crowd, and he's screaming, mate. You could see Moyes like looking down going, what the fuck? And you know, we got beat 4-3, and he says, you're in tomorrow morning. I'd already got my bag packed in that motor parked at service station Manchester. Nah, mate, I had to come in next morning. Stuff like that, actually. For others to carry on that, stuff like that, because you've made plans with you.
Can't do that.
Bear in mind, like, he would text you saying you're in at 7 in the morning. He's sitting in the strippers and Rotherham, champagne.
I know. No,
That's what the boys do. And he, when they turn up, we're running round the pitch and he'd turn up an hour later.
He got me in to flip my tyre on a Sunday, Monday. You know, remember the big, massive tyre?
Aye.
Mate, had me in because I didn't want to go on loan to the club, but he wanted me to go. I said, nah, I don't fancy it. Mate, I was in flip my tyre for about an hour, mate. They wanted the big, we won it. One is like, I just ate, had something like that. Flip.
That's the thing, everybody never said anything.
Nobody says it.
I broke my collarbone, mate. Couldn't train, broke my collarbone. He made me come in at 9. I had to be in at 9 because I broke my collarbone just to sit and watch training. And I had to sit there till 3. So my missus had to get up with a baby, get the baby out of bed and drive me in because I couldn't drive because I had a broken collarbone. He's like, you get paid enough. Just sat and watching training like 6 weeks.
Oh my God! See that at the did you play Tavernier?
Aye. Tav Kemp,
Was you in loan
He
for
was League
Newcastle?
1, wasn't he?
Oh, sorry about that. Another plan again. Shouting the errands here, ain't
Was he in loan for Newcastle?
Tav came in, him and Harris Vikic, remember Harris? Two of them at Rangers.
Aye.
Together at the same time as well.
Aye, so
remember
The big lefty.
Aye. Good player, mate, Big Harris. I think he was for Slovakia, Slovenia, something like that.
What's Tavernier like?
He was good, mate. He was good. He didn't, obviously, listen, now I'm back up the road and watching Rangers, you know what I mean? His career's fucking, he's done unbelievable. But again, he used to be out practicing, mate. Evans was the same with him. He'd be out doing free kicks and that. See penalties and that, he'd practice every day. Evans, get back in, Tav. You blow one more coffee. No, get back in.
That's the way he spoke, by the way.
What's it?
Aye, with the wee claws.
It's a clock.
Mate, the group chat was amazing. And my picture on every hour of Steve Evans on skis, jumping off.
Okay, brilliant. But Tav,
Did you see Tav do what he's done?
It's hard to say, mate, because obviously he was still, I'm trying to think, he would have only been fucking, 19, 20 at the time. I think around about that time. What I do remember is, mate, he used to get in the morning, McDonald's and that, coffee and Tavi. I don't know if he,
right, okay, that's
I remember that. Did he maybe no dedicate himself the way he probably does now? I know he probably really looks after himself. But I remember speaking to him, when was that, a couple of years ago when we played them, and he says that he fucking, like, he's took his game to a new level, but his professionalism, how he lives his life, you know, he's went proper. I think it was maybe a wake up when he came to Rangers, he realised the size of it and the importance of it, mate. You need to fucking win, you need to be at it every single week. So listen, fair play to him, he's done really well, but you could see he was a right good player, do you know what I mean?
I played at MK Dons. I can't believe I forgot about it, but I have.
And
He loaned for Newcastle as well. He's good, good player, but again, no to be Rangers captain. When
I just show you, your career just goes in different directions, you know what I mean?
Did you, I mean, again, I look back at my research, was Lee Johnson your manager? Was this at Oldham?
Oldham.
Was he the manager then?
Aye, he's a gaffer, aye.
How was he?
I liked him, mate.
Did you?
I liked him. Very
Character.
like very sure of himself. He used to like see if we're doing like on a Friday doing set plays and that. He'd be out taking corners and that. So I just want you to get in there. He'd be fizzing it in, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's just like that, and that. Do you know what I mean? Like back to himself. But as a person, I think that was maybe one of his first jobs. He was good, mate. Training that was really good. He had wee Tommy Wright, wee Scottish guy. I don't know if you'll know him. He was really good for him. He's a wee bit older.
Right.
Kind of been doing England for years. But all in all, he was a good guy, and obviously he started to pick up now Hibs, didn't he?
Aye,
Started to get a tune out of them.
So see this time, see when he's been there with Steve Evans and all that, did you stay at Morton?
I'm right on it.
Right.
Hardy's bitch.
Nah, we were at Morton that time, but that's what I'm saying. I remember the night it came up, like, we got a text saying, Tidser's signing for Morton again, mate. I was like a wee kid.
Were you buzzing?
My mate's back.
Aye.
Aye.
That's what I can
Remember, I was in a team, like, they were all like, stupid, they were all my, like, heroes, mate.
Aye, because
I was like, mate, I was a boy coming in, I'd never experienced that before. So especially seeing him going down to England and coming back, I thought that's a good signing, because we were in the hunt for League One at the time with Morton. It was Duffy's first year.
Right.
And I thought that's an unbelievable signing. And then we find out that he can't play for us.
That free team rule.
He came up, 6 months he couldn't play for us, mate, signed in January.
There's a good gene. So after all that slot and Evans, right?
Actually tried
This
to help
sums them
him.
up, mate. Brothers, you'll get this. This sums them up. So I came up the road and I signed with Morton again, right? And because I'd been in loan to Oldham, I'd played maybe 1 or 2 games at the start of the season in the Championship. And then I signed with Morton, you can't play for 3 teams in 1 year. I didn't know this, right? I swear, people are like, you've stitched Morton up, because I got a right good deal down there. Mate, I wouldn't have come back up the road, I just stayed down the road, because I'd bought a house and stuff like that. I just had my wee boy at the time, I was settled. Anyway, couldn't play for 6 months, signed a fucking 2.5-year deal at Morton. I'm sitting in the stand, mate, and right good wages, and I try to win League One. Evans texts me and he's like, look, is there anything we can do? Do you want me to sign you back and I'll put you back in loan to Morton? Like, so he was trying to be nice. I'm like, mate, you've made my life hell for 2 years.
That's the idea he did. Like, you would follow with him. That's who, you'll never play for this club again in front of the whole team. You'd start the next game. Just mad. But even his assistant, just going back to him, like, we'd get beat and he would go to his assistant, you told me to play him. You can move it. Move him. Get Stein the house, get. You don't pay any bills, get it.
Come in stadium, didn't he?
In front of the Hill boys. You're sitting there like, what? Fine, I will. Grab his jacket and away they went.
Oh no, that's horrendous, isn't it?
Horrendous, mate.
So Jim Duffy was the Morton manager?
Yeah, Duff was there, aye.
How was he?
Amazing.
That's his dad, innit, mate. That's
Nah.
I seen him at the Q Club, it's unreal at snooker.
Nah, he's good snooker.
I like asking for the game, but I'm too scared to.
Nah, he's
should,
speak to him,
mate.
mate.
Would you be alright?
Amazing.
Top man.
He doesn't look like, you might think he's a bit
No,
scary, mate.
he's quite scary,
he's
aye.
amazing.
Nah, he's top man.
Top man.
Aye. Like, again, all school's the wrong word, but what I mean is,
He was old school, he had his morals, just,
there was a line, mate.
But I like that. I think people sometimes
of course, mate.
overdo that.
he gave you enough. He didn't. He never went over the top.
But see, like, in
Yeah,
terms
you
of
won 5-0. It's well done, lads. If you get beat, then everyone was just like, you never get. There was a couple of times you obviously lost the plot.
And when he lost it, mate, it was
I think he's his best one.
Terrifying. It's the one where he nearly gives himself a heart attack, batters his chest, mate. So he's centre half, mate. Boys so like any boys coming up, mate, like obviously centre back, you go and heed it. But if like there was maybe 2-3 seconds, he's like about bringing it down and like volleying it in the channel. But he would batter his chest, mate, to the point where there must be bruises on it.
If you can
do that, and then just batter his chest, mate. But he would do it like
fucking do
and the thing is, you're on the pitch, mate. You can actually see him in the corner of your eyes, just like punching himself, mate. And then his fitness test is my favourite, the ankle fitness test. He would say like, "How's your ankle?" And obviously, you get it strapped up and all that. He'd say like, "Well, let's see." So you're saying your physio, you're fine. So you're expecting just to go out and train. So he'd be standing in the centre circle, just waiting on you. And he's like, "In you come." Right, so I remember I had one before the Falkirk game. I went out and he went, "How is it?" I went, "It's a wee bit weak, Gaffer, but I've got it strapped up and that, so I should be fine." He went, "I'll decide." So he like puts the ball down in between you, and he's like just like 2's are just like your right foot just like kind of bouncing off the ball. And he went, "Right, match pace now." And mate, he would be early tapping the ball like and at your shins. He would make sure this ankle was alright, mate. He would
Was that me suit on?
No. That's Friday.
On the Friday.
He was doing the Saturday and all, mate.
Saturday, the suit
But
on.
mate, he's got the trainers on, like obviously rubber soles, mate. They're going into your shins, mate. He didn't have his arms on, mate.
He's a hard bastard, that Duff back in the day.
Was that the Championship when you went back?
League One.
No, League One there.
League One?
We won League
I
One.
like the Scuddies won it, and I came back. I came back in the Championship.
What was that? So who was the players on that team?
Forbes was there.
Ross Forbes?
Forbes was brilliant.
Big Lammy was in it.
Big Ricky
Kildare.
Lammy was there.
Well, that was a good team, that.
We had a great
I
team.
played against you. I was in the
Jai came in.
Aye.
Wee Tiff
We
was
were
there.
young boys, mate.
Scott Tiffany.
So I think when Duffy got the
Like, good
job,
team if you like name the boys like that, do you know what I mean?
Duffy got the job and only had 2 players. They had me and the boy, Joe McKee and Gats. That was the 3 players he had. So he had to sign a full new team. But the thing he did well is he signed, I think it was like maybe 14, 15, like 21, 22-year-olds, and then he signed obviously a few boys' experience. So he'd done well to get a team together, and then that team just kind of stayed together for 3-4 years under him.
Ended up getting out of the semis, didn't he? Semis.
He went to Hampden, aye, with Martin.
See, at the start of the season, would you, in that direction, would you be saying to each other, listen, we want to win it, we're going for this league? Or was it hard when you compare maybe Martin's budget?
The League One season, we knew, so we'd finished second in the Championship to Thistle, relegated instantly the year after. Right. And then that year there we thought, like, kind of, it was any team that goes down, you're expected to maybe a challenge. So we didn't know what to expect with the team we had, and we got off to a right slow start. We had to win, it got to the point where we had to win 6 out of the last 6 games to win the league. And we won the 6th.
Was this the League One? Aye.
And then we went up to the champs. So
was Hibs in the champ that time?
Hibs were in it, Hearts were in it, Hibs were in it, Rangers were in it.
Like, was that? Aye, that was that time, aye.
Falkirk were in it, flying.
But then the next year, was it the next year after that?
The year
got
after.
Playoffs, Dundee United were floating about.
Finished 4th and we went
I've
Hampden.
always punched above our weight, mate, in terms of down at Capital. It's a tough place to go, mate.
He just gave you that, like, truthfully, that's the one thing that, he just gave you that belief you could beat him. Like, we were going to Ibrox and that, and like, you just, like, no, you would go and press high and that, he would just make you feel if you do your job right, you've got a chance. We drew to each Ibrox, we beat 2-1, so close games, but it was.
You never seen anybody getting it really bad for him?
Big Sean Crichton, do you know, got it one time?
Aye,
Getting away a penalty or something, was it?
Penalty, like, you actually couldn't, like, mic him out, like, on the highlights, you could just hear him coming through they couldn't get rid of it. But changing him, tactics board and that. He was like, I thought he'd be worse for what you hear. I think he did, everybody said he did calm down a bit.
But do you know what I hate though? See like, we've seen it a few weeks ago with Martin and stuff, and people go like, when you hear him maybe shouting at it, people go, it's like dinosaur. That's a massive play still for him,
that's standard, mate.
100%. You want to win, do you know what I mean?
Even your gaffer now, John Potter, like, brilliant guy, mate. Like, good guy, you can speak to and that, but he's lost his seed 3 or 4 times this season. Like, proper gone, mate.
Like, every manager's got that.
It's their job as well, do you know what I mean? Like, they care about it, so.
You'd rather he went mental because you cared than fucking just say, right, lads, unlucky.
The night with Duffy and Lennon, that was the most I've ever seen him, was it?
Hibs, remember it? We played Hibs.
Aye,
Doing him a gone for it.
Let's go through that again, because I enjoyed all that.
That was.
Obviously, Lenny's Lenny, ain't he? He lives in the edge as well, do you know what I mean? But Duffy's old school, kind of he'd take him to square go. Anybody.
He actually said that in an interview after it. If he wants to go, I'll go.
He's
like, that's on YouTube.
So we played, it was actually, sorry, Tam, it was actually Jordan Foster was at Kelty. And it was always tough games. We used to make it tough for Hibs. They hated playing against us. I can't remember what the score was at the time.
We beat them 3-0 away earlier on in the season, and then the second away game, it finished 0-0, but it was into the second half.
No, it was the last 5 minutes.
It was still 0-0.
One of the boys has smashed Fozzie.
Smashed.
And he's went down greeting like a big glass.
So
I can say that now at home.
Daz McGregor comes over to Kudos, as in, like, what you doing, but like they go.
But then Lenny gets involved.
They don't go heat-to-heat, they just like, they're face-to-face. So Kudos falls back the way, and Lenny's like, it happens in front of Lenny. So Lenny's like over the top of him, shouting at him. And then Duffy just comes in feigning anywhere. I said, like, don't, mate. He comes in like a bull, mate.
And then it's all sandbags, really. Do you know what I mean? Grabbing each other.
So after in the press conference, tough.
See, Capel, we played them the week after.
Not a problem.
We played them the week after. There was like 30 cameras at the dugout at Capel.
Aye, because the changing rooms are right there.
So there was 30 cameras.
I ended up going to the SFA and I ended up going to a
tribunal,
to sort it out.
Okay.
Aye.
Yeah,
but then the two of them know each other.
Two of them were on the park. So because they know each other the week after, there's 30 cameras at Capel. Lenny's walking down the dugout like this is a big a WWE wrestling entrance, mate. Like, Lenny's walking down, all the cameras are there like turning on him. Duffy's just waiting on him. He's on it. What a shite. Mate, amazing.
Oh, boy. So just to sum up your multi, what's your memories?
Well, good memories, mate. Really good memories. Highs and lows, obviously, being at kind of any club, but really good club, mate. Really enjoyed my time there.
Were you legends, eh?
I think I made an arse when I left, I loved, mate, 8 years at Mont, I loved it.
You're a legend, eh?
We speak about it all the time.
We went to Hampden, semi-final.
I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left Morton. I went to Falkirk. when Hoppy came in. And I probably kind of offered my testimonial, stuff like that. And I just needed a change in my life, mate, like my personal life. And I just thought, a wee change. And then I was there 6 months and I thought, shit.
It's quite a demanding club though, isn't it? The fans are right on you if it's not going well.
We were 3-0 up against Queen of South one night and get booed off at half time. That's the one that always sticks in my mind when folks say I know. But that's because Duffy kind of, like, we were expected to win every home game because of the kind of what he'd brought to the club. So then I was there for 8 years and 7, and he sat me down and went, listen, there's a 3-year deal there, testimonial, but I think you should go and try something else. And it was like he'd kind of made it out as if he wasn't going to be there. And I just thought, I don't know if I could stay here. And he's no there, do you know what I mean? Because he played a big part. So, St Mirren were in at the time, Thistle came in, so I've just thought maybe try something else.
That, as you said, that
hindsight now I'd go back. Hindsight now I wouldn't have left.
Kelty, how long have you been? 3 years at the 2 years been there?
I'm only, this is my second season.
I've been there, I was there, lower league.
Was that under Fergie?
Aye, so when I left Morton, 6 months at Falkirk, and then wasn't happening for me, mate. It was just, I don't know what it was, just wasn't enjoying it. The manager got sacked, Big Lee Miller and Cracks took over. I wasn't playing and I thought, I need to just get and I'd go again, do you know what I mean? And then Fergie phoned me and says, look, you fancy the loan league? To be honest with you, Slaney, I was like, I know that I was saying no, because I would never turn my nose up at anything, do you know what I mean? I just thought, I'm not sure. And then when Fergie phoned me a couple of times, he's like, look, come to us, you know, we'll try and build a team around about you and play and stuff like that. And then it was the best decision I've ever made, mate. Best decision I've ever made, in terms of...
How was Fergie?
Well, you up to him, didn't you? Yeah.
Training's brilliant, isn't it?
Aye. I mean, I've spoken to loads of boys who have worked with him, even boys at Alloa, and maybe say this and say that, he's the man. But I loved it, mate. He was brilliant with me, brilliant. See, because he's a centre mid as well. Well, you'd have played with him, obviously. His coaching was... I loved it. It was just all short and sharp, and everything was intense, and... He's a perfectionist, isn't he?
Aye.
But I don't mind that because I'm a wee bit like that as well. I see people playing slack and I'm like, fucking just pass the ball properly, do you know what I mean? Stop arsing about. And he clocked that for the side. He was on, boys, you know what I mean? And then we end up, we won the league, the only league twice under him because of the whole COVID stuff. We only played this.
I remember, it was a shambles.
We weren't sure we were going to get into the kind of playoffs, and then we ended up getting it, and we done Brora the 2 legs and then done Breaking the 2 legs, and then he left and went Alloa, and obviously Tom will come in.
Tom, was he brilliant?
Tom was great as well. I loved working under two of them. Bear in mind I'm a centre mid as well, so you can pick up things from them as well, do you know what I mean? They helped me, and Fergie made me captain, obviously stay captain under Tomo, and I just had a good relationship with them after the park as well, and in terms of trying to keep the changing room right and just find out, they were great in terms of how the boys, how they're feeling, what they wanting, what they needing, and just good football people, do you know what I mean?
Tom, you surprised that Tomo's still not got a job?
Aye.
It's mad, isn't it?
It depends what you look at it. Like, I understand clubs maybe thinking like Kelty winning League 2 with the budget they had and all that, like that gets all the stuff that gets floated about, that it might not be seen as a big enough achievement to go get another job. But because we were inside, we know, like, say for somebody so young to have the kind of stature he does, like the presence when he walks about, like he's got everything that I think it would take to be a top manager. So I get that he hasn't, but I'm surprised that nobody's running from yet, especially because he's sitting there. I just think it's a no-brainer.
But I find that, listen, just my experience with football, I find it easier to get a job when you're in a job than sitting on the side waiting about. Do you know what I mean?
Are you surprised they left then?
No.
Listen, there was a lot of different issues, you know what I mean, which I'll not really go into because it's you know, it is what it is sort of thing. But he left because he felt it was the right time to leave, in terms of kind of where he took the club, and he'd spoke to a few other clubs and bits and bobs, and whether he left before he thought he was going to get a job, I don't think he did. I think he just left because he kind of felt that he took the club and maybe they were want to go in a different direction. Does he regret it? I don't know. Maybe
he will get something, and I think he'll do very well. He's I can speak highly enough of him.
Your time at Kelty, how you sum it up? Well, we're still getting on now, but
brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Probably best 3 years.
Is it a great? See, the club is it a great club? Like, people running it and all that.
Aye, listen, it's well run. It was well backed. Again, that comes with pressure, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're well, you boys will know in the League, everybody wants to beat us.
Yeah,
we was that the same, mate. I hated us, but
of course, they
hated us, mate, because we had the bigger budget and Fergie was the manager, and that comes a wee bit of needle as well. Do you know what I mean? But that put pressure on us, but good pressure to go and try and win it. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately we did, and we got a wee bit of break with the COVID and managed to get into the playoffs and come up, and the club's not really looked back. Well, obviously, as I say, we went 1 League 2, and this year's been almost a reality check, but in a good way, just to say, look, we're here, we're settled, you know where we are in the league. Next year, can we go again, build and try and push in the right direction again?
What do you think for the Lowland League set up then? If you won the league, then he's going to have to go and win another 4 games to get promoted.
I thought it was a bit of shambles, to be honest with you, mate. But the thing was, is Breaton at the time, nothing against Breaton, but they'd sat bottom of League 2 for years and years, you know what I mean? And there was talk that the game wasn't going to go ahead. I don't know if this is right, but I think the chairman at the time of Breaton was on the board at the SFA or whatever it is. So he's obviously thinking to himself, fuck that, keep them there, do you know what I mean? We'll stay here. But the game ended up going ahead, and luckily we beat them, do you know what I mean? And it kind of because brothers, you know this yourself, there's nothing better than clubs being ambitious and trying to get there, do you know what I mean? Because many teams have just sat
for years,
churning there year after year, and we need ambition, do you know what I mean? At least if Kelty's an example, Cove, even Queen's Park to many, and you're trying to do the right things, do you know what I mean? You want that, you want fresh blood coming out the leagues and going and chat. Bonnie rigging our team, Edinburgh City, Darvo, there's loads, mate. There's no point in teams just sitting there and doing nothing. The same every year, we're happy to finish 9th, 10th, but nothing will happen to us. But what's that? What goes that for Scottish football?
I totally agree.
So for me, it's in terms of how it's worked with the pyramid scheme, it's worked in the right way. Whether they could tweak it and make it a wee bit easier, if you do win your leagues and stuff like that, you should be.
I just think if you work all season, you win a league, you should get promoted. And if you have a bad season, you're bottom, you should be relegated.
Exactly, mate. And that's the same with everything, do you know what I mean?
Boys, you've been outstanding today, and I'm just going to wrap it up here. But before we do, quick fire. Best character in football you've came across. And if you want to get a quick story to sum it up, you don't need to if you don't want. We'll move on.
Oh God, that's character.
Quick fire if you don't mind. Fuck it, dandruff, I cannot believe it.
Tam, think of your characters. You tell me, who's your man? Yeah, I'll put it back to you.
Best character I've came across.
In terms of what, like
funny.
Funniness?
Funny, who's it funny? You're up there.
He's peace.
No, you're up there.
Funniest time you threw that melon there.
What was that again? At Scotland?
Aye.
That's mad, wasn't it?
Well, I tell that.
I can't actually remember it, mate.
You were in the room next door to us. I think it was me and James in that room. You were still at Murray at the time.
Aye, with Bob.
You and Bob. And I just kept gravitating towards you two for a
Aye. You were like us because the rest of the boys are
and then I don't know how you went to the shop and you bought a melon, mate. A watermelon or a melon. I think it was.
What are you going to do with that?
Oh, what he did do it, mate. So in the balcony, I think we were about 5 up and both stood talking. He's like, fuck this. And he just went like that at his shoulder, mate. Right out. There's motors, about row of 10 motors, and it missed motor with a fucking inch, mate. I was like, Slaney, what are you?
Did it nearly hit Billy Stark? Billy Stark was going by the clipboard, wasn't it? Nearly whacked him. Couldn't have been terrible.
Darren McGeek was funny. That's one that always sticks with me.
Dylan's brother. He's a character.
Mate, just could tell the
worst. A great guy.
Could tell the worst story ever, but it would just be hilarious the way he told it.
Nah, Daz was a good guy. There's been loads of boys.
Go with Daz?
Nah, I'll not go with
Daz. No, you don't go with Daz. Right, okay, your favourite manager?
Oh, jeez.
Steve Evans, mate. Nah, in terms of, that's a hard one because, listen, and I genuinely mean this, not just because I'm still playing, every manager I've worked with, I've learned something different and took wee bits and bobs for each of them, do you know what I mean? I love them all, mate. Honestly, that's the truth.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Quick fire.
This is different.
I'll go Duffy, just on longevity. Sorry, Tom.
I love that for you.
I love Tom a bit now.
Worst team talk you've came across? Half-time team talk, like somebody getting hairdryer treatment, sorry, I mean.
A hairdryer?
Hairdryer, half-time team talk.
I had a few.
Oh,
it's got to be Steve Evans.
He's in my face saying, you don't fucking know what the FA Cup means to these boys and that. So I'm for Scotland, mate, calm down. I've never done know what the FA Cup is.
Remember the first game of the season against Big Army? He's in his face, do you want it? You want it? You want that? I'll put you to sleep.
He's fucking...
Amazing, and then steals his towel and wipes his silver.
Big man.
You can't do it, it's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain, you'd need to
I
be
wish I'd wrote everything down.
We used to take bets on the bench, how quickly he'd be out with his claw on the touchline screaming. Like, so the game would kick off, mate, and like I'd say 17 seconds, somebody night, a minute, like for 20 quid or something. Mate, sometimes it'd get 4 seconds, mate, bang, right up, mate, out. Abby, no! Didn't he touch the ball, mate?
That's fucking brilliant. If you go, so is it one of Evans's?
It's got to be in it.
Say the one that sticks out is McCall. McCall used to have like a wee table in front of him when he like read the team the team out and that, and he'd give you instructions and that. But at half time he went behind the table, which I think was a mistake for the start, because he was talking to the other centre-back mate and he was like getting closer to him, but he was dragging this table with him. So he's walking towards him, like slowly talking to him, shouting at him, but the table's gone with him, in front of him, and then all that's between the player and McCall is this table, and he ends up just fucking up in the air. It comes down, and smashes his.
Do you know who got a wee bit of when I was up at Ross County? Derek Adams had a wee bit of, but he didn't swear. It was effing bandits a lot, isn't it?
You're going to swear.
I was desperate to swear, mate, just once.
If you're going to go for it, you have to swear. You can't be that good. Your favourite game you've been involved in? One game? I've asked you this about a wee bit.
For me personally, we played Rangers at Ibrox and I scored a volley, which was sweet, mate. Growing up, East End of Glasgow, you know what I mean? Big Celtic man. Got beat 6-1, nah, I'm joking. Got beat 2-1. That was when Murty took it, remember the day he took it?
Was it
the first day Wobbin got the sack.
Volleyed right in.
Volleyed it in, good moment, mate.
Brilliant.
Probably Capo when we beating Dundee United in the quarter final. Scored the winner that night and then that went.
You scored the winner?
We were at Hampden.
He jumped a bit 10
Did you get used to talk about that?
No, that was the playoff one. The quarter final. So we played Dundee United at Capo, and we knew that obviously we were at semi-final, but Morton hadn't been there 34 years, so we went.
You scored the one.
Ricky Tongo scored to make it 1-0, right. And then I scored soon after it, make it 2-0. They came into the second half, they scored with like 15 to go and then held on. That was us at Hampden.
Did you get after it?
Oh, I was at Cushion that night. Straight out, mate.
This has been unbelievable. Just what I asked one there.
Mate, batter away.
What's something I've asked you before?
Longest in the shower.
You're up there. You've got a battered. You have. You're just massive. I used to love staring at you all the time. You're just a cracker. What?
Just be off on it.
It was always the food one, wasn't it?
Food, you've done early doors.
I want one more. I've got one more. I don't know. Good Gene.
Best player you've played with?
Good Gene.
Was that well done, brother? Brilliant. Best player you played with?
I'll go straight away on that one. Nice in my head. Scott McDonald. Scott, he came to Thistle. Obviously, he was retired.
Aye.
And he came, I think, obviously Caldwell's mates with him, so he was like, listen, McDonald's going to come in. So like wondered what kind of level he's at, mate. He was a joke. Like you could understand why he's played at Celtic for so years. There was a goal kick, Dundee United at home. Keeper's like launched it, mate. He's put the first centre back on his arse. It's bounced. Before the second bounce, he's got the second centre half. He's on his arse, mate. Chops inside and then managed. Mate, he was brilliant. He's a guy as well. That was the kind of first player that I'd played with that had a like top career. I wasn't sure how he was going to be, but he was amazing.
Is he not meant to be pure money, but about like
training? That's what I'm saying. That's all I've like all my uncles and that Celtic fans and that were saying, oh listen, I think he'll struggle with him. Mate, he couldn't be better, mate.
Better guy.
Like even with my kids and that, mate, he was asking how they were. Obviously his kids went to the same nursery and that. I mean, he was amazing. Even as a guy.
Mine would be Paddy McCullough. You remember this, Paddy?
Aye.
How good was he, Slaney, mate?
I've never seen it like genuine.
How did he not play as much though?
Frauders, mate. I'm telling you, see the things he done, man. Like he would sit like 5 boys on their arse and that, like stuff.
He'd do that, see that run, like you go by 5 and score, he'd do that every day in training.
I know, mate.
That's all you ever hear of.
I remember he meg Big Dan all day twice in training and then dinked the goalie. I mean, everybody was clapping on that.
Like he was dating games and all though, it was like, but how was he? It was the fitness, wasn't it?
Aye, he's the best guy ever as well.
Brilliant guy.
Funny man. Just a right good football player. Like one you would see when people say, oh, I'd pay to watch him, you would pay to watch him when he was at it.
That's what I meant to ask you. Fucking jump ahead it. So when you were the senior players at Celtic, who were the ones you did like Paddy, who was the ones that were good? Fucking hate myself for missing.
Who was good? Big Mick, that was good. Big McManus. Sean Maloney.
Aye. How good was he, mate?
His mate Caldwell was decent as well.
Aye, yeah.
But Maloney was brilliant, aye. They were all good boys, you know what I mean? Chico, Paul Hartley, really good. Aye, well, you would have been running about then, wouldn't you?
Were you at first when they picked the team? That one, the players wrote the team or something?
Aye.
Do you want to talk about that now?
I'll tell you a bit about how it came out, mate.
I don't know if I know a story.
So obviously,
I did.
So obviously, it got leaked in the papers that Caldwell had sent a message into the group chat saying, or told the boys at training that I want everybody to select an 11 to play for your futures on Saturday. So we were playing Queen of South away. If we had to want to stay up, and he was like, "It's in your hands. Who do you trust to be out there with you? Like, who do you trust to basically save your contract or whatever, right?"
What are you doing?
So
You
One
got
of
to pick your pals, you got to pick who you...
So I get told to stay in house, right? But and I was out with my cruise ship, right? So
It was TAM that leaked it.
so we get back that night and we got a text saying, I think it came up on Twitter, BBC Sport or whatever. I was like, oh no, somebody's put this out. So the message started going on all the football chats, mate. You know, as soon as it goes into one chat, it's gone everywhere, mate. So then it came in and we were all looking, it was like, right, the few of us got together and we were like, it's Vodafone, right? So whoever sent the message was Vodafone. Right, so it was in the Inverness group chat, right? So we knew it was going to get out, but we were just trying to make a joke it. So we're like, every day, send in a picture of your home screen, right? So, we're trying to narrow it down, right? So, you're that phone, did you do a stack something with it? So every day sending in their home screen picture, right? So pictures of the lasses, like guys' kids and all that's coming in, right? So we'll tick him off. And it was like down to the last couple. Right, last 2 or 3, right?
Don't name who it is.
No, I'm not going to name who it is. But it eventually left one person, right? And we were like, question mark, where are you? We're waiting, like, winding it up, mate.
Horrible, mate.
So I think they read the message and they replied, what he's talking about, like, just acting dumb, right? So it went on for hours, mate. And eventually he sent it in. But no, he didn't send it in. He sent a message and listen, lads, hold my hands up. It was me. Mate, I think that was him. He left after that.
So you never played?
No, he was away, mate.
Who was the first name of yours? Banzo and Spitz. Banjo and Spitz, mate. Don't even. He could sit here for an hour or talk about it, mate. It's like, fucking hell.
Boys, it's been absolutely super. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? We'll have a part 2 weeks because there's fact, I mean, even the official stuff I wanted to get there, but I mean, in my ear, tell me to hurry up. So we'll definitely get you back on. Boys, outstanding players.